In this video, I'm going to show you how I went from this to this. What we've done here is we've built a very small workshop that you can install at home in a small environment. This is great if you don't have a garage or a shop or you're operating in a little space. Now in my situation, I do have a garage, but I wanted this for other reasons, and I'll talk about that a little bit later in the video. But right now, let me show you what we've done. Now what this thing is, this is actually a shed that's usually sold for storing your garbage cans or wheelie bins, depending upon where you live. Now I've had this thing for a while and I've had it set up like this for a while, so a lot of the footage you're going to be seeing is from quite some time ago when I first built this. So let's pop it open. The reason I went with one of these style bins is because of this. The top pops up, so you have clearance here, and the sides come open. So you can open these all the way up and go all the way around your workbench. Inside here, I built a workbench and I've got a bunch of other stuff. So let me show you how I got the inside set up and how you want to pick out the right one of these. So you're going to want to start by figuring out what size bin you need, and for that you need to figure out what you want to put in it. Now in my case, I wanted to fit a kind of a full size, this is a little bit smaller than a full size, but a full size workbench in here. And this is actually a kit built workbench where you buy the legs and you supply the rest. I did do a video on this and I will have a link for that down below. Now, a lot of people mentioned in the last video, you can just build your own workbench, and that is true. The reason I went with this is because the legs here are plastic, and since this thing is in my side yard, if I get water into the shed, I don't want it soaking up the legs of my workbench, so I went with this kit. I also had to calculate how big of a footprint I had, and you can see here, I pretty much went to the very edge of my sidewalk, and then I had to put some pavers down below, and that's because I had to fit this, my trash cans, and then my other bin over there. So you're going to want to figure out your outside footprint and what your inside footprint needs to be. So after I assembled the actual shed, that's when I went and I assembled the workbench. Once I assembled the workbench, it was time to start adding all the other things. So I'm going to show you the little things I did on this thing to make it a little bit easier and more convenient to work with. The first was, I'm not always out here in the daytime. So you can see up here, I actually went in and I installed lights and wiring and a bus bar where I can control everything. And the bus bar I used was this one. And I use this one because you can independently turn on and off each socket independently. And because I don't have power readily available in my side yard, I have the wire coming from that right down the side here, and I can plug it straight in to an extension cord coming out of my garage. Just like that. And coming down here to this bus bar, there's a master power switch right there, and you actually have two USB sockets if you want to charge anything up or power anything, and then you can power up each one. This one goes to my bench grinder. Coming down here, this one over here comes to my lights. And you can see what I did with the lights. It's got a light up there to illuminate the workbench, one there to illuminate the tools, and then another one down there so I can see if I've got to get underneath and it's dark out. Now what I did here with this last switch I think is really cool. What I did was I put a shop vac underneath, and then I bought a DIY dust collection system, which is basically this hose and these ends that are designed to attach straight to your power tools, so when you're using them, you don't kick up dust everywhere. And the other thing I usually store inside this thing is my keter. This is a little work table. I've gone through a bunch of different work tables. This thing is my favorite. You're always in need of more counter space when you're doing these kind of DIY jobs, and this thing sets up like that. What I love about this thing is it's all plastic and aluminum, so I can leave it outside. It's not going to rust, it's not going to corrode, and then putting it away is just as easy as setting it up. So that brings me to, why did I build this thing in the first place if I already have a shop inside the garage? Now, my shop inside the garage shares space with my cars, my motorcycle, my project car, my mountain bikes, and everything else. And if I'm doing stuff that's going to involve kicking up dust, like sanding or woodworking, I'd rather do it out here isolated from what's in there. So this is kind of my dirty mess workbench, because when it's done, I can just kind of leaf blow it off and call it a day. And I don't have to worry about getting in all the crevices of my garage. Now I will have links to everything that I use to put this thing together down in the description below, but I would encourage you to actually go shop around and take a look at things and find things that'll fit your requirements specifically for you. Now, if this video helped you out, please give it a great big thumbs up. If you think this might help somebody else out, share the video with them. That's what this channel is all about, is helping people out doing DIY projects at home. Now, if you have any suggestions for this or for anything else you'd like to see on the channel, please leave me a comment, hit that subscribe button, and of course, thanks for watching.